Hello, everybody. We'll be starting here shortly. So, just gonna let everyone have some time to hop into the space here, and then we'll get started. Let me invite RTR Crypto, and we shall begin soon. Hey, RTR, is your mic working? Everything good? Just doing a quick mic check here before we get started.
I'm actually testing that right now. I need to get you on my headphones here. 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Is that better?
Much better.
Okay, perfect. So we got about 381 in here. Shout out Dubo, I see you in here. Shout out Hollywood, Feg Joshua, Crypto Mummy, I see you in here as well. Tony X. Names are bouncing around. Russell, what's up? Viking 07. Ryan, shout out to Ryan, what up? All right, Chris, you want to give it another minute and we'll start this thing up?
Yeah, let's give it one more minute here. It's like people are slowly. I'm checking the DMs as well. People are saying they can't get in, but majority of people are in right now. Let me go ahead and share the link again to the profile. We can get started here. Thanks everyone for your patience and for taking the time to be here today. Can't wait to get this started.
If any of you are unfamiliar with our project, just take a moment to go to fegtoken.com, go to the documents section, and click on the tokenomics, which is our TRS document, which is second from the left. and we'll essentially use that as kind of an outline. I'm not going to hit every point that's on there because a lot of it goes into some lengthy detail, but we'll use this as an outline to speak about everything that we have going on in the project. Again, that's fegtoken.com, the documents section, and then TRS documents, second from the left.
All right, looks like we are good to go. All right, thank you everyone for joining. This is our first ever AMA on Twitter Spaces. It's a neat thing that Twitter has offered, and something that we haven't done. It's been heavily requested that we do, and I can see the reason why. We've gotten a ton of engagement on Twitter. Shout out to the FEG Army. You guys have been very strong with pushing the campaigns we've had, the Bringing DeFi Together campaign list on FegX. We'll go into more details about that. But first, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Chris. I am the marketing manager here at FEG, and I have alongside me RTR Crypto, who is administrator and also voice chat manager here at FEG. Um, Before we get started, I do want to provide a quick marketing update. Uh, some of you may have seen this announcement yesterday, but some of you may not have. I'd like to go over it just before we get started here. So let me go ahead and make sure my phone doesn't keep buzzing here. Alrighty. So, press releases and ads. In the past 2 weeks, we have had 2 articles published on a well-known crypto news destination, ABM Crypto. They are very well known there in the crypto space, almost as well known as CoinMarketCap, Cointelegraph, CoinGecko, all those others, especially CoinDesk as well. On that list, ABM Crypto published 2 articles about FEG token, and ultimately our plan is to budget sufficient funds for promoting FEG on large crypto news sites, and we are in the process of paid advertisements on, say, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, all the others. There's an ad agency we are going to pursue, so stay tuned for that. They will bring high traffic. They've shown to bring high traffic back in April and May, so we're gonna go through that process again based on the outstanding results that we've received. So the bringing DeFi together and list on FegX movement on Twitter was a huge success thanks to the Feg community. We gained nearly 30,000 followers in a month, with at least 230%, I believe, gain on mentions on Twitter. So let's keep pushing our new tagline of bringing DeFi together using the hashtag, and push out to social media platforms. That's going to be huge. Feg charts, something that's coming up, not days but weeks. I'm sorry, not weeks but days away. We'll see that release coming out shortly. From the images that we've seen so far, it looks pretty good. We cannot wait for this to come out. There will be integration with TradingView, which is a huge plus. Fiat on ramp. Fiat on ramp is something that can be huge for our ecosystem. It's actively being discussed right now. We can't go into details as much because of contracts, and we got to keep things kind of behind closed curtains for now until things are finalized. This is closing. The deal is closing this week. More to come. The capability will actually allow for a better buying experience on FegX. This will be especially true for new crypto investors interested in participating in the Feg ecosystem. New UIs coming, all that RTR Crypto will go in details about. There's a bridge coming. And so, yeah, just a quick marketing update as well. Another thing that we want to talk about is the white paper that was just released yesterday. The Fed community was very active in proofreading it for us. So we've gone through multiple changes. So to avoid confusion, we have launched the second edition. The first edition only lasted 1 day, but the second edition is the final version, the most up-to-date version as of right now. So go to fegtoken.com and click on the white paper and download there. Those of you who've already downloaded and kind of started translating it, please go ahead and re-download that and use the updated version. Besides that, that should wrap up the marketing update for now that I can share. Let's move on to RTR Crypto. The floor is yours.
Hey, thanks, Brian. I know everybody appreciates those marketing updates all the time. I'd also like to just give you guys an update really fast here. I did an interview the other day with a gentleman named Justin O'Connell. He's written for magazine. He's written for publications like Forbes, Cointelegraph. So he'll be posting up our conversation. It's a little over an hour and 15 minutes. He'll be posting our conversation up on his YouTube, and he'll also be writing it out and pushing it to several publications. And when I get the links for those, I'll share them. And so we're going to create a relationship with Justin and be doing those more often, maybe bring some guests on to speak about FEG and about different topics in cryptocurrency that'll allow us to submit articles for, when we spoke this time, we spoke about Bitcoin and decentralized finance as a whole and how FEG was moving into the DeFi space, in the DeFi space, and how it's making moves and innovations throughout, and how that integrated into real world economics. And so it was really interesting conversation. And I look forward to that being published so that we can get everybody's input on it as well. Outside of that, I did just want to mention that if there's any projects that are looking to list on FegX or looking into what SmartDeFi is, and I'll be explaining what that is soon, but if we have a Telegram group and it is FegX listings. So just FEGEX listings. And you can find that on Telegram. There's like 500 some odd members in there, and many of the admins and ambassadors will give you support if you're trying to come onto FEG. So we're looking for information about that. So definitely reach out to us on that channel. Again, that's FegX listings. Okay, so without further ado, we'll get into what is the FEG ecosystem and some basic tokenomics about FEG. So FEG is a multi-chain decentralized project that came out at the end of January 31st, to be specific, for the ERC20 side. That's the Ethereum side, and February the 12th for the BEP20 side, which is the BSC Smart Chain side. So we are a hyper-deflationary token. In the beginning, we had a circulating supply of 100 quadrillion tokens on each chain, and there was an initial 50% burning. So 50 of those quadrillion have been burned, and that allows our burn address to make the token hyper-deflationary, as every time there's a transaction, somebody buys, sells, or transfers, there's a 2% tax that's distributed between the burn address and the rest of the community. It's essentially a community burn distribution, but as the burn address holds half of the supply, it took half initially, and as it grows, it consumes more and more of that 2% tax. So it pushes positive price pressure on the token, creating a more scarce token for FEG. Outside of that, we built FegX, which is our exchange found on fegx.com. It's a multi-chain decentralized exchange where you can do exchange of tokens in a decentralized fashion on the Ethereum and Binance Smart Chains. We are, as Chris just mentioned a few minutes ago, building a bridge that you will actually be able to trade cross-chain on. And that's going to be nice because tokens that list on FegX will actually be able to take tokens and they'll be able to list them, but they'll also be able to set and allocate tokens from both chains for themselves and be able to trade those cross-chain. And so you'll be able to arbitrage back and forth and really balance out those prices. And also it allows your user to trade back and forth without having to take on so much of a hit in reflection taxes as well. So that's going to be really nice. So on FegX, there are multiple reward systems that we're going to go into. I'm not going to hit every single detail on these. Like I said, if you're unfamiliar with FEG, or if you're just listening in or just tuning in right now, take a look at fegtoken.com under the Documents tab. Go down to the TRS document. It's the second from the left, and we're using this as kind of a guide for an outline for what we're going to speak about. So we're going to be on page 4, and we'll start with the staking reward system on the exchange. Now, in FEG, what you can do is on our exchange, you can take your tokens and you can put them you go to the staking tab, and you can go to FEG V2, and this is on both the Ethereum chain and Binance Smart Chain, so either one of these, and you'll be able to stake your FEG tokens. Now you would ask yourself, why would I want to stake my FEG tokens on the exchange? Well, every time somebody on the exchange who's a token who's base paired against, on the Binance Smart Chain side, there's 3 base pairs on each chain. So on the Binance Smart Chain side, any token paired against FBNB, FUSDT, or FBTCB, and on the Ethereum side, FETH, FUSDT, and FBTC, any token paired against those bases will give a 0.12% sell transaction fee that's going to be distributed to the staking pool and then dispersed to the stakers based on the percentage of ownership of the pool that they have. And you can actually see that percentage of ownership of the pool in fegstats.com, and using our wallet data, it'll actually track all of your reflections and your rewards. So outside of the 0.12%, so you're receiving that 0.12% rewards in those respective base pairs, the FBNB, FUSDT, FBTCB, and FETH, or FUSDT and FBTC on the Ethereum side. So you'll be receiving your rewards in an FRAP. Now, the FRAP is another reward system that we have, but I'll get to that in just a moment. But just note that the rewards that you receive in the FRAP will also be receiving the 1% rewards from FRAP reward system prior to you even having to claim those rewards from the staking tab on our exchange. Also, while you're staking, you're actually still earning your FEG reflections. So you're just as you're holding your FEG tokens in your wallet and you're earning a reflection every time somebody does a buy, sell, or transfer. And by reflection, I mean you're earning passively FEG tokens directly into your wallet without having to do anything. Well, when you're staking, it's the same thing. You're going to be earning your FEG tokens without having to do anything, and they're going to go directly into your staking total, increasing your amount of tokens in the staking pool, and directly influencing the amount of FRAP rewards that you receive from the bases that we just mentioned, the base pairs. Outside of that, we are launching our launchpad, SmartDeFi, and every token that goes from that launches on SmartDeFi will also push 0.12% of its sell transaction fees to the FEG staking pool as well. And that's because every token that launches off that platform is going to be based against FETH or FBNB. So it'll be every token that pushes to those pools based on the respective chain, because the chains are separate. The rewards are independent based off the ETH side and the BSC side. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. Outside of that, we'll move on here to, well, when you stake, I think it's definitely important to mention that you'll be receiving FSS tokens, which are your FEG stake shares, and you're not going to want to move those. We've had a couple incidences where people have moved them and lost those tokens. Those tokens are your tickets to getting your tokens unstaked from the staking pool. Now, you can voluntarily send those tokens to another wallet address. Let's say you did it on Trust Wallet, but now you got a Ledger or a Trezor or a SafePal wallet, and you want to put it onto a cold storage device. All you would have to do is send those FSS tokens and to your other wallet, to your hardware wallet. You're not going to be taxed at all. And now when you log into fegex.com to the exchange and you go to the staking tab, you'll see that that wallet now has possession of the FEG tokens that have been staked. So I just want to make sure that that's understood. Just be very cautious, because it's happened to a few people and it was significant amounts. So outside of that, we'll move on to liquidity pools. You can now find two-sided liquidity pools on fegex.com. So any token that's listed on Fegex, and several of the tokens that have already listed have actually utilized this function. So you'll go to the liquidity pool with equal dollar values in the token that you want to put liquidity for and its base pair. And all the tokens that base pair on the exchange are in FRAP form. So let's say you wanted to add liquidity to FEG. If you wanted to do so, you'd have to take about $100. This is just an example, but let's say $100 of FEG and the equivalents in FBNB, right, or FETH. So that's $100 on either FBNB or FETH. Also on the BSC side, you could do FEG BSC and FUSDT, because FEG is directly paired against FUSDT on the BSC side as well. So when you're in the liquidity pool, when you put tokens into liquidity pool, you're going to be receiving, it's 0.2% of every sell transaction fee. And that 0.2% is going to go to the pool and be distributed based on the percentage of ownership. So that's really nice. Also, you'll earn frictionless FEG rewards based on the amount of tokens that you have in there, and that'll vary because of impermanent losses. If you're on that document, there's some links that are nice links about impermanent losses, liquidity pools, that you can take a look at so that you understand that concept. But basically, you need to understand that as the values of each token that you've put in fluctuates, the amount of token will also fluctuate. So you need to understand that you could endure some losses when you do liquidity, but you will be receiving rewards. Also, outside of the 0.2% of every sell transaction from the respective pool, you'll also be receiving your rewards in FRAP form. So when you receive those rewards in FRAP form, you'll also be receiving from the 1% distribution for that FRAP base pair. So I'll be getting into FRAPs in just a second here right now, actually. So the FRAP reward system is really unique, and I think that it's something that we've seen tremendous amounts of APY on. Previously, we've seen up to 200% APY on the FBNB and 120% APY on the FETH side. Also, the FUSDT, because it's paired directly against FEG BSC, has seen significant gains as well. I think that even in our lowest months, it was matching the FEG BSC side, so the FBNB. So it definitely, once we added FUSDT, it's been very competitive with the FBNB for APY. So those are three great pools to FRAP into. I'll explain also why some more. So every time somebody does a buy, a sell, or a transfer, there's a multi-step process in the background that occurs. Well, it's actually a singular step in the background. So if I wanted to buy, let's say I'm going to buy some FEG on the Ethereum side, I'm going to take 1 ETH and make a purchase. If I take that 1 ETH, it's going to, in the background, do a conversion into FETH. And I'm going to receive 0.99 FETH for the 1 ETH that I just put in. And then that 0.99 FETH is going to buy FEG. Now, the conversion from the Ethereum to the FETH is actually going to take a 1% conversion fee. Now, that 1% conversion fee is going to be distributed to anybody, to the FRAP pool, and it's going to be distributed from there to everybody who's holding FRAP token in that base. So that 1% is going to be given to everybody holding it. And that's a really significant rewards pool for multiple reasons, not just because you get rewards for every buy, sell, or transfer of that token, because every token that lists on FegX and every token that lists on SmartDeFi is going to have to FRAP their liquidity. Now, it's beneficial for the token that comes onto the exchange to FRAP their liquidity, because their token will also receive rewards in FRAP in their liquidity. So it will actually pad their liquidity and increase the liquidity against their token. Now, it also means that every time a token comes in with several $100s to several $1,000s, if not tens of thousands of dollars, to the exchange, when they FRAP that, it's going to be distributing that 1% to those pools every single time that happens. So you will be seeing quite a bit of movement on the exchange, as I believe we have over 60 some odd projects now listed on FegX. So you'll see quite a bit of movement going into those FRAP reward systems as we move forward. Also, there's other ways to earn other movements of FRAP, and we'll explain those. I'll explain that here in just a few minutes. So I think I've covered all the FRAP reward systems. Also, I'd like to mention, it's not just when you buy, it's also when you sell. So same thing, if I was going to sell my FEG on the ETH side, I would sell it into FETH, right? That's where your sell transactions are coming in. And then you have your FETH going into ETH. And that conversion from FETH into ETH is going to give you that 1% conversion fee as well. So just want to make sure that's clear. It's on every buy and sell. And if you wanted to wrap, you can go to fegrap.com, or you can go to fegx.com, which is the FEG exchange, and go to the FRAP tab, and you can wrap and unwrap tokens there. If you don't see a token on FegX that you'd like to wrap, FRAP, you go to fegrap.com, and you can actually deploy a new token of your choice onto the exchange. Now, you're also going to want to make sure you take into consideration that you do not FRAP an RFI token, because reflective tokens, when you wrap them, or any token when you wrap them, it creates a new contract address. So the token won't be receiving reflections from the other smart contract address. So we'll use TRDG as an example. They're a fork of FEG. So you wouldn't FRAP them, because you would lose the reflection of every time somebody does a buy, sell, or transfer. Same with FEG. You do not FRAP the FEG token itself. You FRAP base pairs on the exchange. Now, we'll move forward to SmartSwap, which is a really, really unique ecosystem for swing trading. So inside of SmartSwap, I like to use a casino example here. So let's say you're going into the casino, you're going to meet the doorman, and this is if you're trading FEG, because I'm going to use a 2% tax as an example. If you're going into the casino, you're going to meet the doorman. You're going to pay a 2% tax. Now you're inside the casino, which is our smart swap ecosystem. You can trade FEG back and forth, no matter what base pair it is. A specific base pair, you can go in there and you can trade it against FBNB or FUSDT or FETH, depending on the chain that you're on. So you're trading back and forth, FEG token to ETH, FEG, and back to FEG token. There's no 2% tax. You will, however, still meet your sell transaction fees, right? But you're not going to receive the 2% token tax for buying and selling. Now, as soon as you want to take your profits out, if you take them out in FEG token, you're going to pay that doorman 2% tax again. If you take those tokens out in FRAP, like in FETH or FBNB or FUSDT, you're going to pay a 1% to leave. Now, here's another really amazing feature that was added, and that's our swap to swap functionality. So your swap to swap functionality means that if I'm trading FEG on the BSC side, and I see that try BSC took a dip, and I'm like, man, I want to get some try, but I have FBNB inside of the FEG Smart Swap contract. I can send my FBNB to the try BSC smart contract internally without having to remove my FRAP FBNB for that 1% tax that I just spoke about, and then have to go in for another 1% tax to their smart swap contract. I can just send my FBNB directly from FEG BSC to try BSC, and that's only going to charge me 0.3% if I'm sending an FRAP token across, which is amazing reduction. Not to mention that when you're in smart swap and you're swing trading, there's up to a 40% reduction in gas fees. So that's an amazing feature. And tokens that come and list on FegX will actually be able to utilize this as well. Every token is smart swap capable, so you'll be able to go in and swing trade internally inside the contract without being exposed to the tax. Now, it's also important to mention that you're not going to be receiving your frictionless rewards while your tokens are inside SmartSwap. So if you put 100 billion FEG inside a SmartSwap, you're going to be trading back and forth. But if you just leave it overnight, you're going to come back to 100 billion FEG because there's no frictionless rewards on those tokens. Now, we'll talk about the peer-to-peer function, which is another SmartSwap feature. So once you take your tokens inside, if you took your FEG, there's a 2% tax and going into SmartSwap, right? If you took your FRAP tokens, there's a 1% tax going into SmartSwap. Now, you're inside. You have the choice to send either your FEG token or your FRAP token to somebody else. Now, this is an enhanced privacy feature, right? It's not a completely encrypted transfer, but when you make a transfer from peer-to-peer, it's roughly 6 cents on average to send it as a gas fee. And it's actually going to send it, and it's going to show the sender, but it's not going to it will not show the recipient. So it's an increased privacy method that we've developed, but it's also not fully encrypted. You know, a talented developer may be able to go in and figure out who it was you sent. It would take a lot of time, but it's definitely increased privacy, because somebody like me who doesn't have any development background, I couldn't do it, and I wouldn't even take the time to try. So if you're sending your FEG tokens, there's going to be a 0.5% tax when you're sending the FEG token, and that tax is going to go directly to the burn wallet. If you're sending your FRAP tokens, it's going to be a 0.3% systems fee for any FRAP that's sent, and that's used for our high-end server hosting and further FEG development, IT security, firm payments, etc. So there's also on the TRS document, you can see some images on how to use this person-to-person, and those images will be updated when the new UI that Chris mentioned that I would talk about is going to come out. And I'll just mention briefly, since I'm on the subject, that Feg Joshua, one of the admins on the project, he's been working heavily on integrating and updating that UI. We had some amazing design work from the team, from Plutos and the rest of the team. And so that UI looks amazing, and they've been building it out. So it's looking really good. I don't have an exact time frame on it. They are having to build out the UI and then attach the backend to it. And some of those functions are already done. So it's definitely coming along together very nicely. And we're all looking forward to it tremendously, because getting an update to fegx.com and an update to FegTrack is from FegBrad is going to be amazing. So we're all looking forward to that. So now we have, I spoke about the swap to swap here. So smart rising price floor, this is a function that anybody who lists on FegX can go and do. And it basically, when they're launching off the deployer, there's actually going to be a sliding tab that they can slide over, and it's going to give them the percent that they want to use. And what this is that every time somebody makes a sell transaction, it'll actually push a percentage of that into their liquidity, which will help to beef up their liquidity for them and help to stabilize their price, right? So we all know a token with low liquidity has really large price impacts. Larger liquidity is not so much. It creates a less volatile environment for the token when it's traded, a less volatile price point, I should say. So this is going to be really nice. So you can put a percentage of that, and it's really great because it doesn't do it with any external gas fees. It's actually it's built into the exchange, so it's actually done frictionlessly. So that'll be coupled with the FRAP rewards that any token who lists on FegX will also be receiving, and that will also assist their liquidity. So just take that in consideration when you're picking a percentage that you're already going to be receiving FRAP rewards, and this will be a direct way for you to receive FRAP rewards into your liquidity pool directly paired against the token. So that's really interesting as well. We do have a crypto back feature that's coming, and that's still under development. And what that means is that on sales, there's going to be a 0.08% fee that will actually be refunded to the buyer. So this is going to be coming out pretty soon. It's actually under development, but I do want to say that for now, these rewards, the 0.08%, is actually going to the staking rewards pool. So I just want to let that be known that that's where that's at. Our Feg Faucet, this is another feature you can look at. This is a 22 trillion tokens that were put into a perpetual fund that anybody can go in. We tend to push people with smaller wallets to it. That way they can get themselves some Feg. You know, if you've got a significant bag, definitely let people with smaller bags go ahead and take this on, because there are some people. What's beautiful about Feg tokens is that there's people from all walks of life here, and so it's really nice for us to allow this allotted amount of Feg tokens to earn rewards passively, and for people to claim it. So it's a really nice thing that we have set up here. Also, let's talk a little bit about, there's some fee stuff on here that you can take a look at. It's pretty clear on the fees. I don't want to jump into that, but I do want to jump into SmartDeFi. Now, we have a launchpad. Many of you know about ROX token. ROX token was the first token that ever launched on SmartDeFi ecosystem. And SmartDeFi is essentially a token that owns its own liquidity. It is its own decentralized exchange, and it actually does all of its exchanges within, so it can't be traded on any third-party exchange. This feature, the fact that it's trustless and nobody has ownership of it, actually allows for the token to be completely rug-proof. Not to mention that FegRox actually developed a pre-sale functionality, a smart pre-sale, which will allow tokens to do pre-sales for their tokens when they want to launch on SmartDeFi, and that way the investors know that initial liquidity that they're putting into for the pre-sale cannot be stolen from them as a rug pull, which is an amazing feature. Now, all of the SmartDeFi tokens will actually have the same routing features, peer-to-peer, swap-to-swap that we spoke about. That peer-to-peer was the privacy transfer. The swap-to-swap was sending the FRAP liquidity for any token that's on the same base pair. And so it has all the same smart swap functionality where you can trade internally for reduced gas fees and waiving the tax. So that's really nice. They're all based against FRAPs. And what's also another amazing feature is that they're all 100% asset backed, in the sense that every time you do a transaction, buy or sell, there's a 5% tax. That 5% tax is going to go to a separate liquidity pool, and that's your asset backed liquidity pool. Now, that liquidity pool you can take from if you burn your tokens voluntarily. So you can take your tokens to the exchange, to FegX, and you can go to the Smart Tools tab, and you can actually burn the tokens for the base value. Obviously, when you're listing a token on SmartDeFi, the recommendation is to do a asset-backed liquidity pool at equal value to that of the token liquidity. Now, every time that somebody does a buy or sell, that 5% will be added there, and that 5% will grow over time, increasing the minimum value of that token. And that token will only ever go up in base value. So even if the spot price is dropping, you know that base value is going up. And you can go to fegstats.com and click on the ROX tab and actually see this and see the linear graph showing you that asset backing, which is called the baseline value, has only gone up since the beginning. So that's an amazing feature, because it really does guarantee some sense of security when you're looking at the value of your token. Also, the fact that it's completely trustless, nobody can take any of that liquidity out, so you'll always have a minimum value for selling back your token because it's completely, ownership has been completely renounced. So it's also important to mention, outside of that we came out with a new feature, and that new feature is called Smart Lending, and that's on page 22 of the TRS document. Smart Lending essentially is, since we were talking about the asset-backed liquidity and amount, if you want to take, for example, your ROX token, and you want to say, I need a little bit of money today, but I don't want to actually have to sell my ROX token. And I'm using ROX because ROX is the first smart DeFi token. Now, if I wanted to do this with my ROX on the BSC side, the BNB side, I'm going to take it. I can put my ROX in there, and it'll give me 1.6, just under 1.65 FBNB, right? And that is going to allow me, they're going to give me 30 days to pay that back, right? And I can do an extension of that 30 days by burning 0.1% of my collateral, which is going to be my ROX token, right? All the loans are open for an initial 30-day period with a base interest rate of 1.2% APR. There's no profits on it in SmartLend. The APR is burnt, and the BNB or ETH paid back goes into the baseline value of the token. So when you redeem your token, you're paying back the difference in the baseline value from where you took it out, and it's always going to go up. So depending on how long you take that token out, you want to make sure you understand that every time people are buying and selling, they're pushing into that asset backing liquidity pool and increasing the value. So you have to pay the difference. So you don't want to be out for so many months because you could be paying a hefty additional amount based off the volume for each respective token. Outside of that, I think I've spoken quite a bit about a lot of our functionality. I'd like to open the floor to questions. I'm sure that several people do have some. So if Chris is still here, you want to help me out. Chris, did I miss anything that you think might be valuable to mention?
You basically nailed it on the spot right there with everything. Good job. Before we open up the floor for questions and Q&A, I just want to advise that this space is being recorded. So if you want to be recorded, of course, don't request to raise your hand and speak. But if you have a question, feel free, press the request button, and we'll go through as many people as we can until the hour hits, or maybe a bit after, depending on where we're at. Looks like the first question we have is from, looks like Jeffrey is requesting to speak. Jeffrey, the mic's open, it's all yours.
Hey guys. It's not really so much a question as I just wanted to share my appreciation here for the space that you're doing. We got approved to be listed on you guys on the FEGX, but we weren't fully sure. We were looking at, having to have the FEG paired, whether it be BNB or whatever, for our liquidity pool. And so we were kind of analyzing and trying to look at that. But hearing you guys kind of talk about everything in your entire ecosystem, it's actually convinced me here that this is a 100% thing that I want to do, to go forward and list our token on your guys' FEGX. So I just wanted to share my appreciation that, you guys reaching out and doing this is a very educational and important thing as far as what you guys are doing on the FEG ecosystem.
Well, thank you, bro. We appreciate the support, and we look forward to you listing, and also taking into consideration that if you do want to transition into smart DeFi, even after you list on FEGX, whatever locked amount of liquidity you have on FEGX, FegRox is attempting to build a bridge over to smart DeFi for tokens that are on FEGX already. So that could be a potential possibility for you in the future as well. So that's going to be really increase safety and bring a lot of trust to the tokens that move on to smart DeFi. So again, man, thank you for being here, and we appreciate it, and definitely look forward to you listing with us.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that too as we go.
Thanks, Jeffrey. All right, up next we have, let's do Clinton. The floor is yours. Clinton, looks like your mic's still muted.
Hi guys, thank you so much for this AMS. I guess my question there is, Um, how did you come about with a total supply of 100 quadrillion for FEG and 1,000 for rocks? What was the rationale behind that? Just help me understand. Because if you're looking at, I understand that obviously everything that goes on in FEG, there's a bond. However, would there be a room for a manual bond of tokens in future? Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to answer the question because your mic was a little bit muffled for me, but I caught the general gist of what you're asking. So for the FEG token, we'll start with the FEG token. There was 100 quadrillion initially on each chain. 50 of those were actually burnt initially, creating a hyper-deflationary concept for FEG. Now, every time somebody moves FEG, there's a transfer, buy, sell, movement from wallet to wallet. Even if it's your own wallet, there is a 2% tax. Out of that 2% tax, a portion of that goes to the burn address, a little over half, and then the other remaining amount goes to the community as a frictionless reward distribution. Now, there's other methods that are also implemented for burn, right? So we talked about sending tokens inside of the SmartSwap ecosystem. If you use the person-to-person functionality and send your FEG tokens, there's a 0.5% tax. That's a burn. Every token that lists on FegX will have a 0.1% tax on buying and selling, and that buy and sell will actually buy and burn FEG, putting positive price pressure on the token and increasing the scarcity of it. And also, every token that launches on SmartDeFi platform will have a 0.5% sell transaction fee that will buy and burn FEG token. Not only that, but every token that launches on SmartDeFi will have a 0.1% buy transaction fee that will actually buy and burn ROX token. So it'll increase the scarcity of ROX token, making it deflationary as well. So I hope that covered your questions. Like I said, it was a little bit hard to hear you, but I hope that covered what you were asking, my friend.
Thanks for the question. Looks like Feg Token Malkik, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. First, I need to appreciate the FIG team. Really, they do excellent job, and every day we get good announcement from this team. Really, I appreciate him. I have two subjects only. First subject about the huge of supply. Now every day the average for burning around 7 trillion like this. So if we go like this acceleration, maybe we need 20 years to burn 90% or 80% from fixed supply. So this time it is very long for any investor thinking to hold FIG token. This first point. The second point, I think we need to think about FIG token to enjoy platform like Binance or any other platform to help people to know about the FIG token and search about it. It will show the name for FIG more. So any plan to see FIG token in Binance? This is my question, and again, thank you for your great job. Thank you.
RTR, did you catch that? I can help answer the second question. I don't know if RTR is still here. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, so to answer the second question regarding the Binance, you know, we have we have considered centralized exchanges, and with the marketing team, we have been trying to pursue um, the Binance most valuable builder. That's something that we were looking at because it would offer us the exposure that we need as a community to kind of put the project out there. I feel like it's going to be very important that we embrace all sorts of exchanges and kind of lend our exposure to them. However, we have to be very cautious about which exchange we pursue. So more to come on that. I can't really share too much about that topic because it is behind the scenes. We're working on just discussions on it in the marketing team and with Feg Rocks. So stay tuned for that. And looks like RTR is back there. Some technical difficulties with Twitter Spaces. It looks like Ryan has his hand up here. Ryan, I'll go ahead and open up the mic for you, okay?
Hey, what's going on, guys? First off, big thanks to RTR. I personally have heard him go through the spiel at least 10 times, and every time it gets better and better and longer. So kudos to you for everything. But wow, pardon that voice crack. That's recorded and that's embarrassing. But I just wanted to kind of speak to or ask about the big names that were kind of quote unquote on board in the beginning. Obviously, before they slapped their endorsement on Feg, they wanted more videos, more information, more build out, stuff like that. Can you speak to any update on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had some of our celebrities. We had Mark D'Amelio, Andre Alberto, High Res, several of these people that have come into the project organically. Topher Music as well. Many of them still hold Feg. We're still in contact with them. Mr. Mark D'Amelio is still in our marketing chat and has previously requested some graphics and things for a promotion. But with any brand, any celebrity and a brand, they have to protect their brand. And with a lot of FUD around the decentralized finance space, definitely they want to take some time and make sure that all of this stuff is safe. And they wanted to see some the completion of the build out of what we have as an exchange as a project. So I'll put all of our product out, and then to start marketing that product and see how we're doing in that fashion. So now that we have everything rolled out, the auto deployer for listing tokens will be coming back online. There was a couple of updates that went onto it, and FedRocks took some of the feedback from the user experience and decided to make it a little bit simpler. So we pushed the UI update out and a little bit to the smart contracts at 0.1% for every buy and sell for FEG token. That's new, that came on there. And also he coded in the smart lending on the SmartDeFi tokens and the burning of rocks as well. So those things have been done. The UI is completed. They're just doing some final testing, and they should be pushing that out soon. So it's going to be back open, and things will be running at full speed again. And we plan on reaching out to him once we have all that done, so you can see that what we've done here. The second day that FegX was open, there was over $10 million in volume on the exchange the second day that we went live. So we're going to look at incremental growth here, and we're definitely going to keep in touch and speak to them. I speak to Andre Berto quite a bit, and he's still a heavy believer in the project as well. So they're not losing faith; they're just protecting themselves and their brand. So we can respect that, and we can show them that what we're all about as we move forward.
Awesome, man. I appreciate the update, and totally understand that they have a brand to protect themselves. And I just obviously there's been a lot going on with everything being built out, and just wanted to see if you could provide an update to everyone. So I appreciate it, and keep it up.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, brother.
All right, Sergro, your hand's been up for a bit. The mic is yours. Sergro, the mic is yours.
Hi there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, RTR, Feg, Chris, and the team of entire team, Feg team. I got just one question for smart lending. So if I got one rocks and I put that in smart lending and I'm gonna get the base of 1.68 right now, I think. So after 30 days, obviously it's gonna be increase to 1, the baseline. So I have to return 2 BNB or 1.6. Thank you.
Yes. So in order to receive your smart token, your smart DeFi token back, you'll actually have to return the value that you took plus the difference in whatever the baseline value is now. So let's say you took out 1.69 and 1.69 BNB from your one rocks token. When you come back, the baseline value is 2. You're going to have to put in the 2 BNB, and it's going to give you, you're not taking a loss at that point because you're going to get your whole rocks token back, which is still worth the 2 BNB. But when you take out the loan, the smart loan, the token, the collateral, which is your rocks token, you're going to put it in, you're going to give it to the contract. It's actually going to be in a collateralized area, a collateral area, and you can consider that token burnt, like out of circulating supply, until you come and claim it, and then you have it and it's back into circulating supply. If you don't come back and pay the loan and you don't manually re-up the loan for your 30 days to extend by burning 0.1% of, let's say, that rocks token, you're burning 0.1%, it'll actually burn the token. So it'll just be taken out of supply. So it'll be kept as a burnt token because you've taken the baseline value. It'll be as if you burnt it manually on the exchange. It'll just, you've taken the value of it, the baseline value of it at one point, and the token was taken out of circulating supply. So that's how that works. I hope that answers your question appropriately.
Thanks for the question. It's like we have about 7 requests here. A, you're next. Go ahead. The mic is yours. A, the mic is yours. Okay, looks like maybe we're having some mic issues there. Let's see. Ronat, the mic is yours.
Is that me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. How you doing, RTR? I have a quick question. You mentioned about not getting a tax for if you have the token in the wallet, cold wallet. Because right now I do have one in the ledger which is the ETH, and one in SafePal. How do I do that one? Because I'm afraid to take it out, and because I want to stake them, but the 2% is kind of high. Can you really tell me, or maybe you're gonna pin that one later on, how to do that one to get not to get taxed or something? That would be great. I think I just knocked RTR out.
Let's see.
RTR.
In a hot wallet, like in Trust or in MetaMask, is that right?
No, I do have my FEG in a ledger, and then I transfer everything in a ledger, and then the other one, the DNB side, it's in a SafePal wallet.
Okay, so if you want to merge those wallets or stake, I'll explain how to do that. So in your ledger, you can actually stake your tokens and keep them on the ledger. So you can stake them by going to MetaMask, and you can connect a hardware wallet, and you can stake your tokens directly on FegX by connecting your hardware wallet to MetaMask and going to the exchange and connecting your MetaMask wallet on FegX. So that's my method. That's how I did it. Also, if you wanted to, you would be able to take your SafePal, your SafePal wallet, and you can stake the tokens that are on SafePal without having to send them over for 2% and then moving them into stake. You could just use your SafePal wallet, connect to Feg Exchange, stake them, and then be very, very, very cautious when you're sending your FSS tokens, your Feg stake shares. You can send them to your ledger, or you could do that vice versa. You could send your ledger tokens to your SafePal if that's what you wanted to do. Your FSS tokens, you can send those. And when you send FSS tokens, those will not be taxed 2%. You're just transferring those shares. They're like a receipt that you can use to reclaim your tokens. Now you're going to have a 1 to 1,000 ratio of those. So you're going to see that you have less. Like if you staked it, if you staked a trillion, you're going to have 1,000 of them. So just want to let you know that that's how you can do it. So if you need help with that, definitely send me a DM. I can explain it to you again. So that's not a problem.
All right, great, man. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, bye. Bye.
You can DM him.
Thanks for the question. Let's see. Ruben, the mic is yours. Hello, Ruben.
Yeah, hi, this is Ruben. Sorry, I had some mic issues. I had a question about the bridge. Can you explain a little bit more how it will work? And also if it will be also for a ROX token, and then how you will deal with the differences in baseline value.
Yeah, of course. So with the bridge, it'll be multi-chain. You'll have to allocate liquidity for each chain, right? So if I wanted to trade Feg back and forth, I would have to trade Feg back and forth by putting liquidity on the ERC side and on the BSC side, and then people would be able to move those tokens back and forth. In regards to the value, it's not at a 1-to-1 ratio. It's based off US dollar value, the way that those trade. Will the SmartDeFi tokens be cross-chain compatible on the bridge? That's something I'll have to ask FegRox about and come back on the next time we do this. I don't want to give you any misinformation on that. I haven't asked if any of the SmartDeFi tokens will be bridge compatible. Many of tokens do go multi-chain. That's not to say that everyone will, but a lot of tokens do multi-chain. So I'll find out that one on the next round. If you want to send me a DM on Telegram for a follow-up, I'll definitely make sure I get you an answer for that, and then I'll present it the next time we do one of these AMAs.
Thank you, Ruben, for the question. Crypto lover, the mic is yours.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I have one question. Last month I hear about Feg and Kishu token is with collaboration with each other. It is true or not? And also one question: when I purchased from Pancake Shop first time, Feg listed on Pancake Shop, then I transferred to Hotbit exchange and keep it there. Now it's that time it is USDT pair. Now it's become NUSD pair. What has happened? I don't know what happened here. Please explain.
Okay, first I want to address the partnership question. What was the token that you were asking about? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the token name.
Kishu, I hear the news before 1 month, I think. I see some ads.
Yeah, so Kishi Inu has and Feg Token have been in consideration for a partnership. There's a meeting that has to take place to make discussions about it, how it would be mutually beneficial. Nothing has been set in stone just yet. They're a very promising project with a great product, and we're definitely in considerations, both of us. So I think it'd be mutually beneficial if that was to occur. But like I said, we'll finalize something after we hold a meeting together, and we'll discuss that more publicly once a final decision's been reached.
Thanks for the question. All right, we have time for two more. Looks like Adrian, you're next. The mic is now yours.
He had a question, actually. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. He had a question about his tokens on an exchange. When you transfer your tokens to a centralized exchange, many a times you're not going to be receiving your frictionless rewards, which are coming to you from any buy, sell, or transfer like we discussed earlier. And that happens because they withhold the rewards and then charge a fee for you to take those tokens out. And they just withhold them and they give you your set value. Now, if you purchase your tokens on PancakeSwap, then you purchase your tokens on paired against BNB. So you would need to withdraw those tokens, and if they're still paired against USDT, you can just claim them, get your FEG tokens out from the exchange. And if you get your tokens out from the exchange, you'll start to receive your reflections. And then you can take those tokens and you can trade them for FUSDT because of the BSC side. I believe it's the BEP20. Since you got it off of PancakeSwap, it'll be BEP20. So you'll be able to trade those for FUSDT on FEG Exchange or FBNB on or BNB, excuse me, or BNB again on FEG Exchange as well. So you just need to withdraw your tokens and then you can trade them against the other pairs. I'm not sure what pairing you have on the exchange, but that's how that'll work for you.
Thanks, RTR. Arian, are you still there? Your mic's open. All right. If not, let's go to Fernando. Fernando, the mic is yours.
Hello. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me praise the FEG team for immaculate work so far. Well done to the whole team. Great work. As we know, there's tons of tokens coming out on a daily basis, and people now only have faith on genuine coins with constant high-tech developments and improvements. Let's take example Cardano or XRP and so and so. And my question is, what are the FEG developers' plans when it comes to developing a high-tech? Because I believe this is the only way FEG can move forward massively. Thank you.
Just for clarity, what's your definition of high-tech? Because we've put out a completely new, innovative SmartDeFi platform. And that platform is unlike any other. It's completely trustless pre-sales. The token is its own DEX. It locks all of its own liquidity. There's no ownership. The smart swap functionality, that's completely new innovation. The person-to-person transfer that we developed inside of that, it's completely new innovation. The swap-to-swap, completely new innovation. The smart lending that was just built on the SmartDeFi platform. I know lending is not a new innovation, but the way that we're doing it based off an asset-backed value, that's completely new. We're also initiating, we're doing a game. We're doing play to earn. So we're building out it. We have our NFT partnership with FOMO Lab, of course. We just did our first edition of our NFT pack. A second edition of NFTs will be coming out. And then we're building a FEG play to earn game as well to keep ourselves competitive in that market alongside of having our decentralized exchange. We have a beta wallet that's already put together and on fegstats.com that you can track. We have Feg Track application. We were the first ones in the space in DeFi to do that. We have an application that tracks your frictionless rewards. We're the first ones to do Feg Faucet, which is the charitable donation that we mentioned earlier. We're the first ones to base pair against an FRAP form. That's new. And then there's also, further innovation that we're going to be going into and discussing down the road. But I think in regards to high tech innovation, we're the only ones doing it in DeFi right now. So I don't know the definition that you hold of high tech, but I would say that that's all pretty high tech to me as a non-developer.
Good answer. Thanks for the question, Fernando. I believe your mic was open. Sorry about that.
Hello.
Hello.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, I just want to congratulate all the FEG team, and I have a question, and it's regarding transferring my tokens from an exchange, and if I can just send it to my crypto.com DeFi wallet, will I still be able to link that wallet to FEGX?
Personally, I don't own it. I don't have a crypto.com wallet. I have never used one. I do know that people have been able to use that wallet for FEG. I do also know that it has had some issues in the past with the FRAP tokens. But so I wouldn't personally use it for that. I would stick to, I know a lot of our users have been a big fans of SafePal, Ledger, Trezor, using Trust Wallet and MetaMask. Now, personally, I would definitely go into the chat or into the voice chat and ask those that may use Coinbase Wallet, because I know we have several users that do use it. So it'd be better to get an opinion from somebody who's actually used it. But that's just what I've heard over the time that we've been troubleshooting some issues with the FRAP. So,
Okay, thank you so much. I think I will stick to MetaMask. Thank you.
yes, sir. You're very welcome.
RTR, you got time for one more before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm good. I can take whatever time we need here.
Okay.
I try to give enough time for this. So I think we have a meeting in an hour, so outside of that, we're good to go.
We have about 3 people in the queue. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's hit those last 3 then, and we'll call it after that.
Okay.
That way everybody whose hands up gets a turn.
Sounds good. It looks like Midnight Gospel. You are next. Your mic's open. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks so much for taking my question. Real quick, how long were you guys working on this? Before the token kind of went live, and then where do you see the token in maybe 2 years, 2 to 5 years? What's like the broad kind of vision for this?
Well, so the long and short answer to that is that we didn't build any of this before the token was launched. So we started development of the exchange about 2 weeks after the token was launched. February. In March, we had the first beta version. That was we had 8 beta versions of FegX, and at the time we were calling it Feg Swap and things, and it was going to be Feg Swap, and we rebranded it. So that was in March. So that came out April 1st. After 8 beta versions, we launched FegX version 1, and it had some smoothing out to do, just a little bit of UI things, maybe some buttons or period wasn't here on the Apple, on the iPhone, etc. So we got those things smoothed out. Over time, we definitely have improved a lot of the UI. We've never had any issues with the financials behind the exchange, so that's always been a positive. Outside of that, where do we see the project in 2 to 5 years? Mass adoption for Feg Exchange is the ideal, and also for SmartDeFi. I think SmartDeFi, because of the issues that we have in the decentralized finance space with trust, is really going to really take a hold and catch on. Many tokens are going to be coming to SmartDeFi just for the trust factor, because people. If I've been rugged countless times, many of the other admins have been rugged countless times. We came into this project to make a trusted token, renounced ownership, did multi-chain. That was new. We did that. We were the first ones to come out here in DeFi and start doing multi-chain and running them side by side. We also are looking into other routes. I won't mention too many things, but there are definitely visions in the works. FegRox has got that 10-year plan ahead of him. And I think that many of you people that are, interested in, we'll say, interested in different chains may be appeased later down the road, and we'll leave it at that for now. But there's a lot of things coming in the future with FEG Token, and we definitely see adoption being one of the big ones. And so we'll be seeing a lot of these tokens that are coming from PancakeSwap and Uni over to FegX as we move forward into SmartDeFi. That's really our goal. That's where our marketing is going to be pushed to, is really pushing our platforms and building those out. Because if we build out the exchange and we promote the exchange and tokens come on the exchange, that drives rewards for our staking systems and our FRAP systems, and those will bring about adoption for not only FEG Token but for the FRAPs and every other reward system that we have on the exchange. So definitely something to look forward to.
Awesome, man. Thanks for answering my question.
Absolutely, bro. Thanks for being here.
All right, Asif, looks like your hand's been up for a while. Thanks for your patience. The mic is open. It's all yours. Asif, the mic is yours.
Hi, thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for holding this event. Really appreciate it. The previous caller, actually, his question was awesome, and your answer was awesome. I had just a quick couple of points. First point was, going forward, it seems like this is a long-term vision, and for most, if not all of us, we're in here to make money. And the thing is, volume is going to drive that money just because of the dynamics of the deflationary token. And what you're saying is these strategies to kind of bring volume into the play will eventually burn these tokens and get the numbers up. Given that it's long term, though, a couple of points to kind of keep track of is, number one, since it's the DeFi space, the SEC seems to be kind of pushing regulations on this going forward. I think it'd be important to kind of keep a heads up and kind of see where that's going. And the second thing is, with the cycles of crypto in general, with the bear and bull markets, strategies to kind of keep us in the game during a long potential bear market, let's say. So that's two things. I think one of the solutions is obviously to get more exposure and get more people, get more volume. And one of the previous callers kind of brought that up with perhaps placing, using a centralized exchange, like, say, for example, Binance or something, selectively and strategically to kind of get those levels up, to get us out there, basically. And that's really it. Just a couple of points. Basically, whenever you guys sit down and think about these things long term, just kind of keep us in the game, keep us going, and let that organic growth come.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've actually considered maybe doing a centralized listing with a certain amount of liquidity. It would have to be, we thought about doing a crowd fund for it, community funding for it, and throwing, the cost of listing plus the cost of and donating liquidity to migrate on there. As we know, the ownership is renounced on this contract, on the contracts for the token, so we don't do any over-the-counter prices for any of these exchanges that want us to list. And the sheer size of our community, they tend to want several $100,000s for us to get on the exchanges. It's not something that we have pushed tremendously, just because we've seen a lot of manipulation of our price point from centralized exchanges. On top of that, a lot of the experiences that we've had have been, them withholding the reflections from the people who are using the centralized exchanges. So you have to get them off of there after you purchase. But we've also seen them elevate the fees for withdrawing the FEG token at the same time. So definitely something to consider. Your question about longevity. I forgot what your second question was. The second part of your question.
So basically, because it seems like the vision of this is long term. It's going to take some time for the burn.
Oh yeah, correct.
And so we have to basically traverse, bear markets, and to kind of like, in order to do that, we're going to have to, keep things going with the volume there, and that's where kind of that strategic selection of, say, a best of breed type of centralized exchange to get that word out. Because the thing is, I'm a layman. I'm not a technical person. but I am into, say stocks and things like that. And there's a psychology to all this, and which is when you're not doing well, you're gonna get people pile on and say that, a lot of derogatory things. You're not gonna have that. You're gonna have anti-hype basically, right? So you need some sort of success, financially to keep that going. And I think, one of the things is maybe utilizing a centralized exchange where there's a bigger following. And the second thing, and the key thing for non-technical people like me, is make it easier. And perhaps a centralized exchange makes it easier. They may not get the reflections, but at least you'll get more exposure and you will get volume higher.
100% agree with you. So one of the things we're doing for ease of use, right? We used to have a two-step process for buying and selling the token on the exchange, and that was a manual ETH to FETH and then into the token from FETH. Now we have it one click, so we definitely are taking the user experience into consideration. Excuse me. We're also in talks with a company, Guardian, in order to bring fiat to FEG on ramp to both chains, the ERC side and the BSC side. So that's something that we've been in discussions with, and they've quoted us, and we've agreed to the price point, and that would allow us a widget to have that, and also to be on, I believe, changenow.io as well for purchase. So we're definitely looking into methods for ease of use, and that's something that we definitely are taking into consideration. Also, for your bear market statement, I think, this is going to be my subjective opinion on the way the market is looking right now. I think that we may see, prolonged bearish periods like we've experienced now since May, since Bitcoin took its dive and we've been climbing back up. But I also think that there's so much more going on in the space now. Adoption is up tremendously for cryptocurrency. We have many banks, 55 of the top 100 banks own Bitcoin. You have, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all these people trading Bitcoin futures. We've seen real adoption now. You have SpaceX, Tesla, Elon, all these people, Mark Cuban, Mr. Wonderful, all these people, Mark Cuban, Mr. Wonderful opening up a DeFi business. I mean, we have all these different things now, variables to take into consideration, countries adopting Bitcoin as their currency. So you have all these different considerations now that we're looking into how and see how that's going to affect, the market and how it's going to keep us, I think it's going to actually keep us in shorter bearish trends. I think the bearish trend we're experiencing right now may last another month or two, but I think that we'll be climbing out of this and moving back up. And I think that the cycles will be shorter. That's my opinion, just based off the adoption of what's going on in the space. Now, to go full circle to the rest of your question about, the SEC coming after exchanges, even Uniswap is coming after for selling equities, but they have an LLC in Brooklyn. So we're a completely decentralized token. We have renounced all ownership of our token. There's no owners. The admin team are not owners. We're all just community members, just like everybody else. So are the mods. We've made sure that was not something that they could ever say, hey, come after this person because that person is located in the United States. Incorrect. We're all just community members. Nobody ever claims to be an owner of this. There's no CEO. That's just how this project is set up. Secondly, I'll state that when we saw that Uniswap was getting attacked by the SEC, had a conversation with FedRox, and he told me that he was looking into all of our contracts to make sure that even for staking, et cetera, that there was no way that they could take a look and try to pin ownership of a contract on one in particular person or the project itself. Everything is trustless. Everything is decentralized. We're not localized in any one region. So it'd be difficult for them to pin anything from the SEC to come and regulate our project, seeing as how we have literally zero centralization. So the problem that these other quote unquote DeFi exchanges have done is that they've LLC'd and put ownership onto their exchanges. So we're definitely taking the methods. We are aware, and it's definitely something we're taking countermeasures to. So just want to let you know about that.
Thanks, gentlemen. All right, last question is from Optimus. Optimus, the mic is yours. Optimus, the mic is yours.
All right, good evening, everybody. First of all, I really want to appreciate the team. I mean, my name is Kobe Steve, and on this platform I'm known as Optimus. I'm from Nigeria. So basically, what I want to ask on, I think somebody has spoken about it before, but I just need a better explanation. There's the bridge, the the FEG token bridge. I think it was talked about some time ago, but all of a sudden, nobody's saying anything about it these days. Yes, I just wanted to know, okay, hey, is this still in progress when you see coming in? Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had initially planned on putting the bridge out previously. However, when we started the build out of the exchange, FegRox decided to build out and innovate it in certain ways. So this exchange that we built is completely from the ground up. You'll see many of exchanges coming out that are claiming to be exchanges or swaps, and they're copies of Uniswap v2, which they didn't even bother to get to get somebody to build them a v3, which to prevent the exploits that they're v2 left them vulnerable to. So our exchange is completely built from the ground up. Our team is able to build things out and innovate on top of it. Now, with that being said, all the innovation that we did took a little bit of extra time because you build something else. FegRox had a new idea that our lead developer developed another, developed staking, decided that instead of making separate contracts, so you put your tokens in a stake, you could only put your tokens as if it was a liquidity pool, like into earning FBNB solely based off this pool or FUSDT, and then you were subject to each respective volume, sell volume for those rewards. Instead, he decided to rebuild it and make the 7. Now you're getting frictionless tokens and FEG rewards, and you're getting the reflections from all the base pairs on each chain, plus the reflections for those rewards from the other reward systems prior to even having to claim. Now, all these different developments obviously took a little bit of time to build. It's all brand new technology. And then, because of the bite-size restrictions and the Solidity contracts, it's kind of restrictive. So he had to figure out ways to fit all of this code into these contracts. So there was a little bit of build out time delay on it, and we prioritized getting FegX completely running, and we prioritized getting SmartDeFi out because we've seen numerous tokens getting rug pulled, and we said it's time for a safer environment in the DeFi space. Let's create this launchpad and get this launchpad out. People are still able to trade on both chains. The bridge is going to be a fantastic feature, and I'm really looking forward to being out because I think arbitraging back and forth is a great idea. People are already arbitraging between PCS and FegX, between Uni and FegX as well already. So it wasn't the main priority for getting this out. Our biggest thing was to get it out, drive volume. And with that driving of volume, we're driving out a lot of the burn for FEG. So every token that lists on the exchange, 0.1% buy and sell to buy and burn FEG. Every SmartDeFi token, 0.5% sell transaction fee to buy and burn FEG. Our ROX token, which is 1,000 tokens limited supply, 900 in circulating supply. The others have been made into perpetual funds to pay out funding for marketing, et cetera. All that token is going to be now deflationary as 0.1% of all SmartDeFi tokens actually buy and burn ROX tokens. So ROX is also a really good investment, in my opinion, not financial advice, but with the limited supply and a deflationary concept that has, and 100% asset-backed value, where it's already worth like 1.6 BNB on the BNB side and our BSC side, and 0.096 ETH, I believe, on the Ethereum side already. And with such low market caps, I mean, even FEG right now is completely undervalued, in my opinion, with all the utility and everything that we have. We're essentially the only ones in DeFi right now that are putting out this much innovation and an exchange that's actually our own custom exchange. So really excited to see where this goes. And I hope that answers your question.
Alrighty. Looks like that's it for the questions that we can take. Looks like we are about out of time here. RTR, thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to co-host with me this first ever Twitter AMA on Twitter Spaces, bringing DeFi together. To the FEG Army, we appreciate you. We are working very hard for you, and we are committed to pushing FEG forward with you. And we are going to bring DeFi together, especially all these tokens coming on to FegX. The other burn that's going to happen, hodlers will be rewarded. Of course, any discussion here in the space today, not financial advice. Do your own research. If you have any feedback, we would love to hear them. We value them. We hear you. And we do value your thoughts. So if you have any questions, any comments, feel free to send FEG Token, this Twitter account, a DM, and I will go through them, and we'll have our team answer them as complete as we can. All right. So that's about it for today. The first one. But we will. It feels like this was a success. We will have another AMA in the future, and they, of course, will be announced. But this Twitter space was a huge success. So thanks, everyone, for your engagement today. Everyone have a good evening, good morning,
everybody as well.
wherever you are.
Thank you all for coming out, and appreciate those of you that stayed this entire time, and everybody's love and devotion for the project. You know, we couldn't do this without you guys, and we understand these are hard times in the market. And for those of you diamond handing, you know, it's 100% my opinion that we will all be rewarded for this. So if you have any questions that I didn't get to, definitely send me a DM. I'm always available to the community, and we will definitely schedule one of these soon. I think I'm gonna have to start doing these at least weekly, so that, you know, because we're bringing in so many new people and there's so many new features, it'll be nice to get these out. Maybe I'll do them in segments next time. So definitely thank you again, and you guys have a great day.
Take care, everybody.